All right, YouTube, my name is Leonardo, and with this video here, we're going to be reacting to a new death battle, Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna. I figured I'd do this one here. I was going to do the one that they came out with before, and we may still do that, but I wanted to start with this one because this is the newest one that I think just came out, I want to say yesterday, and I'm familiar with both of these characters since I've been reading comic books since I was like 8 years old. So we're going to jump into it here. I'm going to try to do this the same way that Jolly and I did it when we were doing the other reactions to keep the theme the same. But just right out the gate, just based on my knowledge, I'm going to assume that Zatanna is going to win this. Just because of some of the crazy feats that she did in her comic book lines. And I know Scarlet Witch is a badass in her own right, but just if I had to go on just my knowledge right now, I'm going to assume Zatanna's going to win this. So let's hit this play button.
The Scarlet Witch, Marvel's Crimson
Get this backstory up and then we can see this fight.
Zatanna, DC's magnificent mistress of magic.
There are those who wield the mystic arts like gods to reshape creation to their whims.
And there are those who just like to put on a hell of a show. Either way, don't mess with them if you know what's good for you. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Though we may drift day by day in a world seemingly concrete and eternal, the fabric of reality is in fact more delicate than we might dare to wonder. Imagine every single iota of it, every star, galaxy, universe, all within the grasp of a single mortal woman to control at her whim. Imagine the danger
she is a nexus
we're all
point.
in if you piss her off.
We don't have to.
I
Because
hated
her
that
name
TV show.
is Wanda
X-Men
Maximoff,
Evolution was
the
so
Scarlet
bad.
Witch. As a kid, she and her brother Pietro were poor Romani, who were lucky enough to be turned into super-powered freaks by the High Evolutionary.
Unable to control her
old Mount
apparently
Wondagore.
new magical abilities, it wasn't long before Wanda lost control and was branded a witch.
Until who would show up but the mutant master of magnetism himself,
The man.
Magneto. Definitely give
I love Magneto. He's like one of my favorite comic characters ever. Probably like my second. Well, used to be Spider-Man #1, but let's say like my second, probably behind Iron Man.
And it wasn't long before she traded her supervillain creds for a membership with the Avengers.
Ah, those
which
old school
might have
Avengers
been a bit
outfits was
too
horrible.
much for poor Wanda because she definitely drew the superpower short stick.
By waving her hands, Wanda could create small random events known as
Hex magic,
subtly altering the probability of any event happening.
That's a cool way of saying she could do like
it's like one, what's his name, Lone Star or something from X-Men?
Totally useless. An energy blast here, some telekinesis there, a force field if she's feeling frisky. Not exactly the same oomph as, say, the God of Thunder or the Jolly Green Worldbreaker.
But something strange was happening. Over time, her hexes increased in breadth and power, as if there was more to Wanda's powers than met the eye. She learned to slow and stop time, drain and absorb energy, duplicate herself.
Yeah, she does have a lot of abilities, I will say that.
And even strip
but Zatanna could do all that too, so.
It was almost as if there was more to Wanda than just being some random science experiment. Let's ask
That's because she wasn't a
an
science
expert on the
experiment,
deepest
but okay.
trenches of character history. Jocelyn, if you will.
In reality, Wanda's powers weren't entirely the result of the High Evolutionary, nor was she the mutant daughter of Magneto, as he's claimed. Her powers weren't
hated
just
that
some
retcon, but
simple
okay.
hexes. She might as well have been a god. Until now, she had merely been dipping her toes into the vast ocean known as chaos magic. Though her powers may have seemed to be the byproduct of science, they were in reality the gift of the Lovecraftian elder god Chthon, who attempted to turn Wanda into his future vessel.
Reminds me of my summers by the sea with old Uncle 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤.
In time, Wanda discovered she could alter the probability of anything she could think of, turning a mathematical impossibility into an absolute certainty, and vice versa. Wanda's powers kept growing and growing, turning...
See, that's going to be a little bit weird, because that's where I think the battle's going to hinge on, because if Wanda can change the probability of stuff, right? I know Zatanna can do anything she wants with her magic. So what I think they may do is the fight's going to probably be even until, let's say, the killing blow. And then you're going to have, let's say, if Zatanna creates something to kill Wanda, she's going to alter the probability of that spell working and then have it not work. That's what I think they're going to play with once the battle actually starts here.
her into a being strong enough to rival even the mightiest of gods. Like, literally, Wanda's chaos magic is counterpart to the Phoenix Force, the embodiment of cosmic order. You know, that fiery space chicken that can destroy the universe?
We all know who the
Wanda
Phoenix is. Come on.
and even briefly erased it from existence.
And it's a
the Scarlet Witch
multiversal
achieved total
entity.
control over energy, the weather, the
Okay,
elements.
so let's see. Chaos magic. Just put everything. Just put chaos magic, everything. You know, or anything she wants, because that's a big list there. All right. Connection to life force increases power at the cost of sanity. Oh, okay. So they may pull that in. If they're gonna make her flip out like she did in Avengers Disassemble, then maybe during the fight with Zatanna. See, because Zatanna, I know I'm not as familiar with her as I am with Scarlet Witch, so I don't think Zatanna flips out the more she can control. I think with her, it's just, oh, I'm this magical. She's a baby of a magical people and stuff like that. With her and her dad, and she's just capable to do all of this weird, cool magic stuff. She's kind of like Doctor Strange, whereas he could just do it. He's not gonna lose himself the more he does it, like with Wanda. So they may do that. They may just be like, oh, Wanda's gonna do this all powerful spell, but she's gonna go insane, and that may cause her to get killed in the fight too.
Elements, your mind, your body, your soul, all of time, all of matter, and all of reality. She can wipe you from existence with a thought and rend the very fabric of the universe.
She can do anything she wants, really.
Tissue paper.
She isn't even limited to chaos magic either. They might not have been what made her a god, but the High Evolutionary's experiments did make her more receptive to channeling magical energy. Oh, maybe that's why Mama Boomstick always warned me about redheads.
She's so receptive, in fact, that Wanda is the lone nexus being of the 616 reality, a focal point for the universe's magical energies, and one that belongs equally to all other timelines.
It's no wonder she was considered a candidate for Sorcerer Supreme. I mean, shit, why wasn't she? She might as well be a walking, talking Infinity Gauntlet.
Well, she may have the power of a god, but she's still stuck with a human's body that can be overpowered by physically stronger foes. Though, she also survived being shot with a black matter bullet capable of, and I quote, world-shattering energy. So there's that.
She does
comic book
need
bullshit.
to be able to think of a spell in order to get it to happen, so she could theoretically be blitzed, but she's also blocked Thor's galaxy-crossing hammer.
Okay, so if that's what they're establishing, that means she can only do spells as fast as she can think. So I know Zatanna, I forget how fast she thinks. I know it's fast though. It's like, I know the Flash can think at like picoseconds. I think Zatanna can do the same thing, because I know her reaction time with magic is in the picosecond. So that's usually faster than people think. So unless Wanda has some kind of feat that they can pull to say that, oh, Wanda can think this fast too, unless they have something that can do that, then yeah, that may be the deciding factor there. Because if Zatanna can think faster than Wanda, then she can do her spells faster than Wanda can do hers. So that could be how they decide things.
Kept up with dudes like X-Man who can fight within plank time and even amp her own speed.
Oh, there you go,
beyond
plank
the
time, yeah.
concept of speed herself.
Oh, there you go,
being
yeah.
far and
Okay.
away the mightiest among Earth's mightiest heroes, Wanda
I mean,
resented
Zatanna's
the
did some
pressure
kind of
of
weird
her
stuff to
incredible
where like
power.
she broke the
She
fourth
actually
wall,
wanted
so
a quiet life as a wife. And
so
a
maybe
mother.
that
But
spell
because
time
no
thing's
one
not
in
going to play a
comics is
factor in
allowed to
it.
have a happily ever after, that life was taken from her by literal Satan. Not the
Yeah.
last time he do
Mephisto's
this, too.
done a lot.
Wanda snapped and she took the multiverse with her.
Yep.
By
That was the
tapping
Avengers
into an
Disassembled art.
inconceivable and
The whole No More
unknowable pool of
Mutants
energy
thing.
known as the Life Force, Wanda rewrote all of reality, creating a new universe.
Make it seem like it's a
where
big
life
deal.
was
That's like
just how
every
she wanted
mutant in Marvel
no matter
right now.
whose lives she had to change. In this House of M, she had her family back, but at the cost of her sanity.
And it wasn't long before it all came crashing down around her. Once her family and friends discovered the lie of their new lives and turned
Yep.
against her, she
Went
uttered
to take her
3
out.
fateful words and erased nearly all of mutant kind. No more mutants.
Wanda weaved her magic throughout all of existence.
Because it was the mutants' fault that it happened. You know, it's not just her. She could have just said, "No more me," or erased herself from existence. No, she got to ruin everybody else's life.
Everything that ever was.
Shit, got dark, and while Wanda has worked to keep her powers in check since then, that threat is always there. But honestly, that sounds more like a problem for anyone who's stupid enough to get in her way.
Both a blessing and a curse, a help and a hex. Such is the true power of the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, she is up there, but I don't know. Zatanna, you
battle is sponsored by the Northman.
Zatanna's up there too. All right, let me skip this ad here. I know I'm gonna check out that movie when it drops. That movie looks super good.
Come one, come all, to see the magnificent Zatanna Zatara. For never was there a greater professor of prestidigital performance.
AKA magic! Except Zatanna's spells aren't just smoke and mirrors, they're the real deal, so you're really getting your money's worth.
They had Zatanna in a live action show?
Father, 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤, who put his powers to
Never seen that one
before. One
before.
of DC's very first superheroes.
No joke, he's the guy who taught Batman everything he knows about escape artistry. He debuted the same issue as Superman, and the young Zatanna was more than happy to serve as his assistant, learning everything he knew about the cutthroat world of entertainment. Oh, and cape shit too, but the former is way worse.
She inherited her father's incredible mystical abilities as well. Essentially, anything Zatanna thinks of, she can make real.
She can just do it.
She focuses this absurdly powerful ability by speaking her desired effect backwards. Her father based this technique on the diaries of Leonardo da Vinci, who some theorize wrote backwards in order to hide his ideas from the repressive medieval Catholic Church.
Or because he was left-handed.
Wow, they're gonna bring in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood?
Theory, if you hate fun.
And Zatanna's apparently big-brained enough that she has no problem speaking backwards at the drop of a hat. Like when this one dude kept reversing time in the middle of her sentences. She started speaking in palindromes so that she could still be speaking backwards no matter what. I mean,
I didn't even know that.
You know what they say, Wiz? Go hang a salami. I'm a lasagna hug.
With her magic, Zatanna has bent the laws of reality to her whims.
Yep.
She's
just as broken as old school Doctor Strange.
Teleported across dimensions, commanded the elements, turned invisible, removed powers, cast illusions, read and controlled minds, traveled through and stopped time, and can even wipe people from existence with a single word.
It might not seem obvious from that hokey magic castle getup, but Zatanna is one of the most powerful sorcerers in DC. Like the time she battled the Time Tailor Zor, an old enemy of the Spectre. You know, the angel of
I think the only person that may be on her level is probably Dr. Fate. But I don't know, she may be bigger than him. But I know he's one of those old school gods controlling Dr. Fate.
Zor's entire
basically breaking the fourth wall, just fuck it.
She literally handled all of reality like it was a sheet of paper and crumpled it in her hands.
That might seem completely incomprehensibly impossible to us, but it's all a matter of belief. Literally, as long as Zatanna believes she can do something with her magic, she'll do it.
So it's like Gladiator's confidence. If she believes she can do it, she can do it. Like a Green Lantern ring.
This is similar to other magical characters like Dr. Fate,
yeah, Green Lantern,
whose powers have been stated to work the
strength of will.
Same way.
But it's not like any rando can do magic by wishing on a star. Zatanna is genetically predisposed to this kind of magical reality warping. Her mom was in actuality a Homo Magi, a subrace of humans that are naturally adept at magic.
So it's no wonder that Zatanna became an invaluable
so she could do all the big boy spells
Justice League of America
without any
Justice League Dark. The
consequences to him.
Version, basically.
Zatanna harnessed an entire year's worth of sunlight into a single energy blast, created ruptures across all of space and time throughout the DC multiverse, and has even claimed she's as powerful as Superman himself.
Why does she need to be as strong as Superman? Oh shit! Pre-crisis? Damn! Oh shit! Mr. Sneeze that can destroy universes.
Stagecraft tradition meant to boost her concentration.
In a pinch, she can cast a spell with a single thought, and I doubt anyone's winning a quick draw with her. She's matched superheroes like Martian Manhunter, who scanned every mind on Earth in a blank instant.
Yep, see,
or how about
that's what I was talking about.
Fate, whose magic traveled across the universe at the completely immeasurable velocity of God.
So like the Flash. Oh yeah, just instantaneously.
Upside down man, primordial darkness that is evil incarnate, and the void beyond creation, Pralaya.
This shadow goop lady ate all of DC Comics, all of creation, everything. Gods, demons, rabbits, and spandex,
so Perpetua
everything.
Before Perpetua?
And Zatanna's magic was strong enough to hold her back.
And then, After secretly implanting Swamp Thing inside Pralaya, she weaved a spell within him to literally regrow all of reality back in seconds.
Zatanna tricked a being older than God and then blew her ass up from the inside with a whole new omniverse. Africa, goddamn.
That's what I was saying.
Such
Zatanna is a
the
beast.
Power of Zatanna's
I mean,
will.
they don't show it a whole lot,
Should her
but
focus be disrupted,
in
it
the
could all
animated
come
stuff, but
crashing
yeah.
down like a house of cards. Belief is a fragile thing, after all, and her powers were weakened for a time after she lost belief in herself.
And she's definitely got one big weak point. She's a huge daddy's girl.
Despite her amazing career, she has struggled within herself to live up to her father's legacy, especially after his heroic death.
And this MFer has died a lot of times, so Z's therapy can't be cheap, especially after dating John Constantine. Oh, I can just smell the lager and self-loathing from here. No, wait, that's me.
Questionable romance aside, Zatanna is a consummate professional raised on one singular principle. The show must go on, and she'll always finish strong with a standing ovation.
Yeah, that's why I think Zatanna's gonna get this.
This show is sponsored by
Really do. So let's get to it. All right, here we go. Let's get it. Let's see if I'm right. Those thick legs.
Oh, thank you. And for my first trick,
That'd be cool if she just like pulled Scarlet Witch from the Marvel Universe.
ta-da!
You, what sort of two-bit sorceress do you think you are?
2-bit?
Perhaps I was being generous.
All part of the show, folks.
Huh? I'd say this calls for...
And he's weak against magic. That's not. What, he gonna fall out the war? Like, oh, Hulk? Yeah, that ain't him. Soup's got that. Hulk's no Superman. Knock him into space, and there's no more problem.
Do you know the difference between you and I?
Well, I think the difference is... presentation! And
Yep.
I know a trick when I see one.
Damn. Okay, just gonna break the video?
Universes.
You can't run forever. Now make like a magician and disappear!
Throwing universes at her. Okay, she can still think and do magic, so that's not. I mean, that's not gonna stop her.
A disappearing act was the first thing Dad ever taught me. And for my final trick, no more witches.
Yep.
And that's our show, ladies and germs.
Do it. I knew it, man. She was just too
That's a
good.
magic trick that's to die for.
Analyzing this matchup was like walking on a tightrope. It could fall either way at any point.
Because at the end of the day, both these ladies could do basically anything with their magic.
Yep.
All they had to do was think and shit would happen. They were totally even. At her peak, Wanda was able to threaten the stability of all creation.
And at Zatanna's best, she was able to hold back Prolaya, who could do the exact same thing. And despite some differences, the omniversal cosmologies of Marvel and DC Comics are roughly equivalent
Pretty much
in
the
size
same.
and scope. All that was left for us to look at was their weaknesses.
While both were as powerful as one another, Wanda needed to tap
Wanda's
into the
sanity.
life force to reach that pinnacle, and doing so threatened her sanity.
Let's take a closer look
Whereas
at the
Zatanna
events
could just
surrounding
do it.
House of M, where Wanda's powers were at their maximum.
Despite admitting that she was way stronger, Doctor Strange managed to get the best of Wanda with a cool head and a spell that briefly knocked her out cold.
His wits against her mental instability were enough to turn the tide.
To be clear, this instability definitely wouldn't affect her power. She was still strong enough to create a completely new alternate reality,
But you
and
wouldn't
then
be able to
erase
control it.
just as easily. What it would do is leave her open.
Also, take her No More Mutant spell. As insanely powerful as it was to affect the whole
There was
of
still
Marvel
mutants left over.
creation, it wasn't entirely successful.
Like
There
300
was
and
still
something
a
of them,
tiny
if I remember
portion of
right.
Earth's
Or no, I'm sorry,
population
198,
left
I think.
unaffected, likely due to interference from Strange and Emma Frost.
Against Zatanna, who was just as strong and not losing her mind, she wouldn't be
Yeah,
able
she
to
had no
afford that
weaknesses.
kind of lapse, even for an instant.
On the other hand, Zatanna has managed to maintain her willpower fighting foes just as strong as the Scarlet Witch, so she didn't have the same kind of exploitable weakness.
And remember, she doesn't actually need to say her spells backwards.
Yep.
It helps with her concentration, but all her spells come from her mental impulses, just like Wanda. She's consistently pulled off non-verbal spells in the past, even against beings as strong as Prolaya.
In the end, Z definitely had enough experience fighting smart and keeping on her toes to hang with Wanda long enough to get in a finishing blow.
While there were definitely versions of this battle that could have ended with Wanda victorious, Zatanna's cooler head and effortless magic allowed her to prevail.
I guess you could say Wanda never saw it coming, and Zatanna maxim offed her.
The winner is Zatanna.
Oh, that was dumb. All right, YouTube. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I had that narrowed down. Like, I know my comic books YouTube, you know? Like, some of these other death battles, like, if I don't know the character, then it's like, okay, well, it's like, maybe hit or miss. This might happen. This might not happen. But, like, comic book characters, yeah, that's my shit. I know that. So, I'm not sure what we're going to do for the next reaction video. I know one of you guys recommended the Pacific Rim Black trailer, I think, that just came out. So I'm probably going to do that for the next one. So that's going to probably be up in a couple days. So let me know down in the comments what you guys would like to see from me here going forward in the future. If you have any recommendations as far as trailers, movies, TV shows, what have you, just let me know down in the comments below and I'll see if I can make it happen for you. But outside of that, I hope you have a wonderful evening and I will see you in the next one. Later.